Thank you, Program Director. His Excellency President Jacob Gezikegisa Zuma, His Excellency Deputy President Date Khalima Mutlante, Chairperson of the NCOP, Bob Mahlangu, Deputy Speaker, the Honorable Nomaindi Mfeketo, Deputy Chairperson of the NCOP, Honorable Thandi Memela, the Madiba family, the Mandela family, former President F.W. de Klerk and Mrs. de Klerk, former Deputy President Balegambet, ministers and deputy ministers present here today, honorable leaders of political parties present here today, honorable members, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests, fellow South Africans, a very good morning to you all. Allow me on behalf of Parliament to extend our deep-felt gratitude first to the Mandela family for joining us today to lend weight and dignity to Parliament celebrations, and in particular, the unveiling of the bust of our first democratically elected president and father of the nation, Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. Program Director, 20 years ago, speaking at the first sitting of Parliament as the first democratically elected president of a free South Africa, Nelson Mandela stated, and I quote, "We place our vision of a new constitutional order for South Africa on the table, not as conquerors, prescribing to the conquered. We speak as fellow citizens to heal the wounds of the past with the intent of constructing a new order based on justice for all," close quote. These words mark the final death knell of an unjust political system based on race and the birth of a new constitutional order in South Africa that has inspired millions across the world. Today, we assemble to celebrate a free and diverse South Africa. We come together to celebrate a successful new order, one that lays claim to the promise as stated in the Freedom Charter that, quote unquote, the people shall govern. Today, we also assemble to honor our beloved Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela and the many heroes and heroines who paid the ultimate price so that we can enjoy a South African society based on democracy, justice, equality, and peace. Program Director, Nelson Mandela understood the importance and significance of Parliament and therefore had a profound respect for this Parliament as it had for him. 20 years ago, Nelson Mandela, speaking in the National Assembly, stated, and I quote, "The people of South Africa have chosen a profoundly legal path to their revolution. Those who frame and enact the Constitution and law are in the vanguard of the fight for change. It is in the legislatures that the instruments have been fashioned to create a better life for all. It is here that oversight of government has been exercised. It is here that our society in all its formations has had an opportunity to influence policy and its implementation," close quote. Parliament not only is the vanguard of democracy, but is also primarily responsible for improving the lives of millions of our people. Looking back, we can confidently assert that in so many ways, we have expanded the frontiers of freedom and fulfilled the founding provisions of our Constitution by ensuring human dignity, achievement of equality, and advancement of human rights. In doing so, we have been guided by the Constitution to ensure a government of the people, by the people, for the people, by providing a national forum for public consideration and discourse of issues by passing legislation and scrutinizing and overseeing the executive action. Over the course of the last 20 years, we have successfully changed the entire legal edifice to root out apartheid legislation and its legacy. This has involved passing hundreds of groundbreaking and progressive laws at a rapid pace. We're not an island unto ourselves, but part of the global community. Therefore, as a new democracy, we have learned from the examples of others who went before us, and we inserted into our constitution the most progressive provisions relating to openness, public participation, outreach, oversight, and justification of socio-economic rights. Today, the world over, our parliament is a testimony of what is possible when a nation decides to unite and choose a future of hope and progress. These are achievements in which we must take pride. Program Director, one of the important legacy projects which the Fourth Parliament hands over to the Fifth Parliament is the commemoration of 20 years of democracy. This program will reflect and draw lessons on the gains we have made in the last 20 years of our young democracy. The 20-year celebration program will, amongst others, review the impact of legislation Parliament has passed on all our people. This review will be interactive and will engage the views of a wide range of South Africans through various discussion fora. We also undertake to release our findings in a publication at the end of the 12-month program. We will undertake these reviews, and of course, we will make them public. The 20-year celebration is an opportune time for us to also reflect on our oversight and public participation processes, which are core to our mandate. We will use our findings to further strengthen our work in these important areas. As Parliament, we also declare, as Parliament has been declared a National Heritage Site, our 20-year celebration is in the perfect backdrop against which to debate, shape, and define a heritage strategy which we can all be proud of. We hope to draw the public's interest by having an Art Against Apartheid exhibition and producing a catalogue of artworks donated to Parliament over the past 20 years. In collaboration with the City of Cape Town, we will also erect a statue of Madiba in recognition of his enduring legacy at a suitable location in Cape Town. It is my hope that the valuable lessons drawn from this process of reflection will further strengthen and deepen our democracy as we stand in service to all our people. Program Director, I can think of nowhere more appropriate than in the precincts of Parliament to unveil this bust of Madiba, one of the greatest leaders amongst that generation of great freedom fighters and leaders. Parliament, as a symbol and living expression of democracy, is a sweet fruit of Madiba and other struggles and sacrifices. Madiba's values are eternal in time, universal in space, and enduring in every circumstance. Long after we have passed on, buried and forgotten, his legacy will live on and will continue to resonate with generations to come. Let this past be our conscience, our guiding star, as we continue to uphold the noble ideas for which Madiba and others stood for, fought for, and died for. Let us Let us, in words and actions, be it in the chambers of parliament, the executive, or wherever we find ourselves, act with integrity and honor, as Madiba and others did in service to our people at all times. The work of this nation is ongoing. Each one of us who has been inspired by Madiba, who has been touched by Madiba, who has been moved by Madiba, must continue the long walk. The next phase of ensuring a better life for all our people in their lifetime. Madiba understood that progress could only come from all of us united and working together for a better life for all our people. Therefore, in tribute to Nelson Mandela, let us turn out in our millions at the polls on the 7th of May to continue to express our will and support for our growing and flourishing democracy. Let us work together to continue the work of Nelson Mandela and others and fulfill his promise that, quote unquote, the sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement, close quote. I thank you.